On June 11, 2021, Turkmen President Gurbanguly Berdimuhamedov announced that the country had fully repaid its multi-billion-dollar debt to China. China had previously provided Turkmenistan with an $8.1 billion loan to build natural gas production facilities and sent technical staff and engineers to help develop gas fields. Although Turkmenistan has abundant natural gas reserves, the country lacked the technological expertise and external support to develop them, leaving gas reserves untapped. Before we get started, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Thank you. It was not until July 2007 that China National Petroleum Corporation requested assistance in building and developing gas facilities. To repay its debt to China, Turkmenistan began supplying about 40 billion cubic meters of natural gas per year to China through pipelines to repay the loan. By this point, the $8.1 billion debt had been fully repaid, and China had become Turkmenistan's largest importer of natural gas. Despite the debt repayment, Turkmenistan expressed its desire to further deepen cooperation with China. But why didn't anyone help develop Turkmenistan's vast gas resources before? And why did they turn to China for help? The area of Turkmenistan, a member of the Central Asian Five, is only 491,200 square kilometers, and almost 80% of its territory is occupied by the Karakum Desert. It is an impoverished, technologically backward country with stagnant industry. Fortunately, Turkmenistan has abundant oil and natural gas reserves. Its explored reserves of natural gas account for 10.1% of the world's total and equal 19.5 trillion cubic meters. However, experts estimate that Turkmenistan's undiscovered natural gas reserves underground may exceed 50 trillion cubic meters, which is about 20.8 billion tons, and the country ranks fourth in the world in terms of natural gas reserves. In addition, oil reserves amount to 213 million tons. With a population of only about 6 million people, if Turkmenistan's annual gas production reached 250 billion cubic meters, the country could not only meet the domestic demand for free natural gas for all its citizens, but also obtain an additional 180 billion cubic meters for export, leading to rapid economic development. However, Turkmenistan, as a country located inland, covered by deserts and technologically backward, needed to find an industrialized, infrastructure-savvy partner with a high demand for natural gas to help it build gas exploration facilities. China was among the countries ideally suited to these conditions. China established diplomatic relations with Turkmenistan in January 1992, and high-level visits between the two countries have been frequent since then, contributing to a healthy and stable relationship. In addition, China, with a population of 1.4 billion, is the world's largest consumer market and has a huge demand for natural gas, consuming about 380 cubic meters per year. China's own production of natural gas is insufficient, resulting in the need to import it from other countries. In addition, China is famous for its infrastructure capabilities, which makes cooperation with it an optimal choice for Turkmenistan in terms of maximizing benefits. This is a mutually beneficial agreement for both China and Turkmenistan. Therefore, in July 2007, the relevant departments of Turkmenistan's oil and gas resources, together with China National Petroleum Corporation, signed an agreement on profit sharing and sale of natural gas products. According to the agreement, China and Turkmenistan will jointly develop gas resources on the right bank of the Amu-Darya River. China will build a gas pipeline running through Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan to connect to China and provide an $8.1 billion loan to Turkmenistan. Over the next 30 years, Turkmenistan will have to supply China with a corresponding amount of natural gas annually through the pipeline. The pipeline was officially completed and put in operation in 2013. Gas fields in Turkmenistan are characterized by high temperature, high pressure, and high carbon dioxide content, making their development extremely challenging. Drilling oil and gas wells in this region is often described as dancing on a knife edge. It is this difficulty that is the reason why Turkmenistan, with so much blue gold, has never been able to translate it into economic income. Before the arrival of Chinese enterprises, the drilling success rate on the right bank of the Amu-Darya was only 29.9%, and many countries considered it a no-drilling zone. Therefore, China, known for its friendliness and willingness to cooperate, became the main choice to develop Turkmenistan's gas fields. Chinese oil and gas exploration specialists were also surprised when they arrived on the right bank of the Amu Darya River. The difficulty of extracting oil and gas here was even greater than imagined. Here's a natural gas burning pit called the Gates of Hell. This gate is 69 meters in diameter and 30 meters deep. The temperature inside reaches 1,000 degrees Celsius and resembles a little sun. This huge pit has been burning for 48 years and it costs $1 billion annually to burn the natural gas, which is a huge waste. While to outside observers, this fire pit is a unique natural wonder. To locals, it is a scar left by drilling accidents and a wealth-destroying machine. Many international experts believe that these gates of hell are impossible to conquer, but Chinese infrastructure construction always turns the impossible into the possible. At the time the project started, Chinese construction workers had no transportation and had to walk on furs. There were no means of communication. They had to shout. And when they had no more strength to shout, they had to communicate with people at a distance using gestures. The situation was aggravated by the fact that the desert lacked even the most basic logistics. However, the biggest problem was not these difficulties, but the life-threatening temperatures in the desert. Temperatures can reach 50 degrees Celsius in the summer and drop to minus 30 degrees Celsius in the coldest winter months. Chinese engineers had to work in such harsh conditions for 18 months. Of course, these 18 months had to ensure that the first stage of the pipeline was vented in time, not that it was completed in full. In order for the pipeline to deliver 5 billion cubic meters of natural gas, 28 wells, a 90-kilometer main gathering line, and a host of other system engineering tasks had to be built first. And that in just 98 days. PetroChina's technical team awakened the dormant Samandepay gas field on the right bank of the Amu Darya River, which had remained untouched for 14 years. Chinese workers welded pipes at minus 40 degrees Celsius, almost twice the normal welding speed, which amazed Turkmenistan personnel. Chinese companies not only set 8 new records in drilling in Turkmenistan, but also drilled a well in just 34 days, breaking the world record for the fastest speed. In this barren desert on the right bank of the Amu Darya River, the Chinese builders' efforts have transformed the gas pipeline system from nothing to something. President Berdimuhamedov ran excitedly to the construction site when he learned that the first phase of the project was nearing completion. He expressed disbelief that it could be done in just 1 year and praised the Chinese oil workers for overcoming unthinkable difficulties. He sincerely thanked them for their efforts. As a result, Turkmenistan has been able to supply natural gas to China through the pipeline since 2009, even though the whole project was not completed. With China's help, Turkmenistan's natural gas exports quickly recovered to 80% of the peak production level in the 1980s, greatly benefiting the local population. After that, other CNPC projects were completed and put into operation one after another. The China Central Asia Gas Pipeline formed 3 parallel lines, A, B, and C, and the drilling success rate in the restricted zone reached 100%. The construction of this project has once again amazed the whole world. Since the end of 2009, the China Central Asia Gas Pipeline has brought more than 300 billion cubic meters of natural gas from Turkmenistan to China's western and southern regions in the Yangtze River Delta. These 300 billion cubic meters of natural gas replaced 400 million tons of coal and reduced carbon dioxide emissions by 426 million tons, making a significant contribution to China's environmental protection efforts. Coal has always been China's main source of energy, accounting for more than 55% of total energy consumption. Because of this, it is extremely difficult for China to achieve zero emissions, which is often used by Western countries as a means of attacking China. On the other hand, natural gas is a low carbon and clean energy source with a higher level of environmental friendliness than coal and oil. It is also a renewable energy source and relatively inexpensive. It plays a critical role in China's future energy transition. China's natural gas imports will increase, and therefore cooperation with Turkmenistan will deepen. Turkmenistan is also counting on long-term cooperation with China. China's vast natural gas consumption market has not only helped Turkmenistan to repay $8.1 billion United States dollars of debt in 2021, but also accumulated a total natural gas trade volume between China and Turkmenistan exceeding $72 billion United States dollars. Meanwhile, over the past decade, Chinese oil companies have explored and developed natural gas fields on the right bank of the Amu-Darya River, creating 22,000 jobs for local Turkmenistan residents. Chinese engineers have generously shared their oil and gas field development technologies with local employees, providing technical training to more than 110,000 people in Turkmenistan who have become professionals in the field. In addition, the construction of the project has stimulated the development of the local transportation, logistics, and construction industries, making Turkmenistan no longer as backward as it was when the Chinese workers arrived. China has also implemented many public welfare projects in Turkmenistan, creating numerous social benefits. Since the project development area was a water-starved desert, the project team donated $4 million to build a purified water supply system. This is the largest public welfare project ever undertaken by a foreign company in Turkmenistan. It effectively solved drinking water problems for 6,000 residents of remote areas. Today, the former gates of hell have turned into a land of happiness for the residents of the right bank of the Amu-Darya River, so personally named by President Berdimuhamedov. In a word, China's cooperation with Turkmenistan has contributed to solving the problems of natural gas development and export, ensured the economic development of the local population, and benefited the peoples of Central Asia. At the same time, China's energy problems have been duly solved, resulting in a mutually beneficial situation. What do you think about it? Write your opinion in the comments.